Hello, respected scholars and my dear listeners. As you could see that we are in this particular session, we are talking about research proposal or synopsis. And in this particular video lecture, we are going to talk about literature review. Previously, as you are familiar with, we talked about abstract and we talked about title and we briefly talked about purpose statement, research objectives, and research question. So, in this session, we are going to talk about literature review. After choosing a theoretical perspective, study related resources to find out how and what researches have been done in the similar area. The purpose of literature review is not just to compile information about the existing material or research. The purpose is to approach the existing knowledge critically to shape your research. You must review the existing literature and mention how your study will be informed by the existing knowledge in terms of its scope, research method, data collection, and data or textual analysis to be particular. So, in literature review, what we do, we find out some studies related to the application area, related to the text that we have selected, or related to the novel, the poems, the stories, or whatever text or whatever the area we are going to research about. So, in a way, literature review is the study of previously conducted works that other researchers have conducted upon the same area. So, what it does, it helps us to find out the research gap that we would investigate. It helps us to find out our existing place in the body of research or the existing gap that we have explored in that particular context. So that gap would be explored with the help of literature review. So other perspectives, whatever the other people have already applied or said, we are going to formulate and we are going to see in those studies, and we have to find out at least 4 to 5 research articles and studies, and we have to differentiate our work with that uh, that has already been conducted or done in the previous study. So our work should be different, and our work should fill the gap that those studies have left, or the studies are unable to explore. So that would be the difference, would be our research gap. Next, prominent feature of a synopsis would be research methodology. This research methodology is also a very important section for your synopsis or research proposal. So this section should contain the detailed research method, analytical procedure, statistical techniques to be followed, each supported and with appropriate and authentic citation. Approach, first of all, would be the first thing that we have to follow in research methodology. Approach would be related to paradigms such as quantitative paradigm or qualitative paradigm, or you could find out the other related paradigms such as hermeneutics or interpretivist paradigm. So those paradigms would be the first thing that you would see, that where your research work falls and in which particular paradigm the work goes into. And then after selection of the paradigm, you will have to follow and we have to find out an appropriate research method. Such a method would help us to find out the theoretical framework. Appropriate research methods could be textual analysis as a research method, autobiography as a research method, or ethnography as a research method, or discourse analysis, or critical discourse analysis. So methods would be selected upon or depending upon the need or the nature of our study. Then we have to find out conceptual and the theoretical framework as well, which would have variables and various concepts which are related to that particular theory and the theorist at length has talked about. And then we at the last thing would be model or technique. Model or technique could be content analysis, model or technique could be reader response, or model or technique could be from new criticism. So we have to follow. So in research methodology, what we should follow, approach, qualitative, quantitative, method, textual analysis, or critical uh, discourse analysis, CDA, or feminist critical discourse analysis, FCDA, or discourse analysis, or ethnography, or any other research method, and then conceptual framework, which would emerge out of the theoretical framework. So after selection of theoretical framework which articulates the theoretical perspective, we would be able to see and provide the structure to our study, and that structure to the research work, which is in a way a kind of skeleton, which would help to find out the answers like how and why, and answers to these questions would be investigated through the lens that is provided to us by the theoretical framework. From the existing theories and the notions, choose a particular theory that will become the driving force of your research work, and this theory will serve as a perspective to your study or the issues that you have selected. So, for instance, you could select any particular stream or any particular perspective, theoretical lens from post-colonialism, which could be subaltern studies, or which could be uh, uh, from Homi K. Bhabha's work, mimicry or hybridity, and which could be related to othering, and which could be related to Orientalism, or many other issues that we would talk in another session related to post-colonialism, and how those various post-colonial theoretical perspectives differ from each other. So this theory will serve as the perspective to your study and the issues that you have investigated, and analysis and the discussion or conclusion will be extracted out of the light of that particular theoretical perspective that we have selected. So it's very important to select an appropriate theoretical perspective and establish good understanding at this stage of your writing of this particular research proposal, and remember to take the theoretical perspective from the original work. So this is very important if you want to talk about Marxism. So we cannot select a theoretical perspective from various works of the critics, such as Hans Burton or Terry Eagleton or Peter Berry. So these, remember, these are the critics. We have to select the work from the original writer. For instance, Karl Marx would be our original theorist, or Friedrich Engels could be our original theorist, or Antonio Gramsci, or any other related theorist, such as Lenin could be the one that is providing us the theoretical perspective, or Gayatri Spivak, or any other. For instance, we could take Chomsky. So, but we need to make sure that we have selected the original books. We have to avoid critics, commentaries, interpretations, or abridgments of the theories, because these are the secondary sources. They could help you explaining or expanding upon the original ideas of Karl Marx, but they cannot serve as the main theory, because these are the people who are writing about that particular theory. So you have to select Capital Das or Communist Manifesto as the original works, instead of finding the critics or the theories or the blogs or encyclopedia entries. We need to go and find out the original books, and that could provide us a theoretical perspective or theoretical framework for our research work. So textual analysis at this stage, textual analysis is not required. So what we should do in the stage of synopsis or in the stage of research proposal, we need to just write the headings related to the chapters, and subheadings related to the ideas that we are going to explore. And those subheadings would be based upon this particular theoretical framework or conceptual framework. Theoretical framework, as you know, is overall from the theory, and the conceptual framework is the one that is extracted from that particular theoretical work. So, conceptual framework would provide us the headings, and those headings should be written so that whenever you present your synopsis to the board and they know that you have read about all those works, and you have explored that particular genre, or you have conducted a pilot study, and your thesis is not going to be a null hypothesis, or your thesis would investigate whatever is achievable. So each heading would reflect the concept or the variables, and our variables so should serve as guiding structure. And we have to find out the examples related to plot, setting, themes from the area of application that would be inculcated on the basis of relevance to the problem to that particular theory. And all those uh, ideas should have a proper formation, should have proper citation using APA or MLA, whatever is demanded. And the last thing is conclusion of this particular synopsis. So at this stage, it is not required, but you can just draw a kind of mind map of conclusion related to each question that you have started, or research objectives. In a way, it could be a kind of answer to those particular things. And further things that are required at the level of thesis are findings and recommendations. But at this level, they are not required. But if you can write, that could help you find out or a kind of compose the whole work into one particular structure, which would tell you about achievable aims, and those achievable aims would help you in composing your research dissertation. So thank you for your listening, and thank you. If you could apply all these steps, so they are really going to help you in your research endeavors.